Ladies, come on in. Let's talk about allowing yourself to be courted because as a pretty bonita woman, we all want to be courted and pursued and not the one chasing, am I right? Before I was Christian, I used to want to control the way relationships would kind of pan out so bad. I didn't have the revelation of being pursued. And honestly, I didn't have the self-worth either. So when I would be like interested in a guy and we would start texting, I was always the one to text first. I was always the one to ask on dates. And then if they weren't asking me on a date, I would be upset. If they weren't like inviting me to their parties and stuff, I would be upset. I would initiate FaceTimes, etc., etc. And that honestly did not give space to any man to pursue me. That would honestly just like allow me to be the one pursuing, and it would ultimately take the position of a man in a relationship. God, being the good God that he is, honestly changed my heart completely about the way pursual and like relationships happen. I think that us as women can really sabotage being pursued like the bonita, beautiful women that we are because of our uncomfortability with letting someone else take the control. I want to share with you guys how to let yourself be pursued like the beautiful bonita woman that you are. I had loads of time to read Ruth when I was single. When I first moved to Florida, the Lord was like, read Ruth 4 times. So I read it 4 times and I was like dissecting Ruth's and Boaz's relationship, understanding how Boaz pursued Ruth, understanding how Ruth just let it happen and stayed in her feminine. But then whenever he initiated something, she would like move at the way that he was moving. Let me explain. I have my Bible right now, but there's a point in Ruth where Boaz is like, who is she? And obviously his workers tell him who she is. But then later on, they're like eating and he's like, Ruth, come here. Why don't you eat the food that I give you? Or it's like, eat at the table with me or like something like that. But he initiated the pursual and all she had to do was be a little pretty like flower that followed in his direction. Some of y'all might come at me for this being like, oh, but we're women, like we're strong, we're firm, and we are strong and we are firm, but we don't want to be in a marriage with a man who's going to just let us control him, because then we're going to be in the role of a man. And I promise you ladies, by firsthand experience, being in the role of the woman, of the wife, honestly makes you feel so beautiful. We as women can sometimes try to take the reign and try to be the ones to pursue the men because we're like, oh, but they're not moving fast enough. Or we don't see that they're even making any efforts. But we have to give the space for the men to be able to make the first moves and have the trust in God that God is going to